You wake up feeling stiff. Your knees ache. Your back protests. And the first thing you do is reach for that steaming cup of coffee before anything else touches your lips. It feels comforting, familiar, necessary even. But what if I told you that this simple morning ritual, something millions of older adults do without a second thought, is quietly sabotaging your energy for the entire day? What if the very thing you believe gives you energy is actually stealing it from you? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might just change how you feel every single morning for the rest of your life. Let's be honest. Mornings after 60 aren't what they used to be. You don't just spring out of bed like you did decades ago. There's a process, a slow awakening, maybe a few groans, and somewhere in that routine, coffee becomes your lifeline. But here's the uncomfortable truth that most doctors won't directly tell you. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach first thing in the morning is one of the worst things you can do for your energy levels, especially as you age. Now, before you close this video thinking I'm about to tell you to give up coffee entirely, hold on. I'm not your enemy here. I'm not against coffee. What I am against is the way we've been conditioned to use it, particularly in our later years when our bodies need more care, not less. The problem isn't the coffee itself. The problem is the timing and what it does to your aging body when there's nothing else in your system. Here's what actually happens inside your body when you drink coffee on an empty stomach after 60. Your stomach produces acid to digest food. When you pour coffee into an empty stomach, especially that strong morning brew, you're flooding your system with additional acid when there's nothing there to digest. For younger people, this might cause some discomfort. For older adults, this becomes a cascade of problems. Your stomach lining, already more sensitive with age, gets irritated. Your digestive system, which naturally slows down as you get older, gets thrown off balance. And here's the kicker. Your body starts producing cortisol, the stress hormone, in response to this internal chaos. Cortisol is supposed to help you wake up naturally. Your body has its own built-in alarm system that releases cortisol in the morning. But when you add coffee to an empty stomach, you're basically hitting that alarm button over and over again. You're forcing your adrenal glands to work overtime. And while you might feel a temporary buzz, what follows a few hours later is that familiar crash. That mid-morning exhaustion. That desperate need for another cup. That feeling of being drained even though the day just started. But it gets deeper than just feeling tired. When your cortisol levels are constantly elevated, your body struggles to regulate blood sugar. For older adults, especially those dealing with or at risk of diabetes, this is serious business. Your energy doesn't just dip, it plummets. You feel shaky, irritable, foggy. You might blame it on age, on not sleeping well, on stress. But the real culprit might be sitting in your favorite mug every single morning. Let's talk about something else that happens with age. Your body becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients. Iron, calcium, magnesium, B vitamins. All these essential nutrients that give you real, lasting energy. Coffee, particularly on an empty stomach, interferes with the absorption of these nutrients. It binds to iron and prevents your body from using it properly. It blocks calcium absorption when your bones desperately need it. It depletes your B vitamin stores when your nervous system relies on them. So not only are you getting older and naturally absorbing less, but you're also actively blocking what little your body manages to take in. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. Now, think about this cycle. You wake up tired because your body didn't properly absorb nutrients from yesterday's meals. You drink coffee on an empty stomach, which blocks today's nutrient absorption. You feel energized for an hour, then crash. You drink more coffee to fight the crash. You feel anxious and jittery, but somehow still exhausted. You can't understand why you have no energy when you're drinking 3 or 4 cups a day. By evening, you're wired but tired. You can't sleep well. You wake up the next morning even more depleted. And the cycle continues, day after day, year after year. Here's what makes this even more frustrating. Nobody talks about it. Your doctor asks if you're eating well, exercising, managing stress. All important things, yes. But rarely does anyone ask about that first cup of coffee. It's so normalized, so ingrained in our culture, that we don't question it. We don't realize that this one small habit repeated every single morning, could be the hidden reason why we feel 10 years older than we actually are. So what's the solution? Do you have to give up your morning coffee and suffer through the day? Absolutely not. The fix is simpler than you think, but it requires breaking a deeply ingrained pattern. The key is to eat something before that first cup. I'm not talking about a full breakfast, though that would be ideal. I'm talking about something small that gives your stomach a foundation. A banana, a handful of nuts, a slice of whole grain toast, a small bowl of oatmeal, even a couple of crackers with some peanut butter. Something that tells your stomach, we're starting the day properly. There's food here to digest. Let's do this right. When you eat first, even just a little, your stomach acid has a purpose. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your cortisol levels rise naturally without being artificially spiked. The nutrients from your food get absorbed properly because coffee isn't blocking them. And when you do have that cup of coffee 20 or 30 minutes later, it actually works better. You get the alertness without the crash, the warmth and comfort without the internal damage, the ritual you love without the hidden cost. But here's where most people struggle: habit. You've been doing this the same way for decades. The coffee pot is programmed to start brewing before you're fully awake. The smell pulls you toward the kitchen. Your hands reach for that mug automatically. Your brain doesn't even register that you have a choice. This is why awareness matters. This is why understanding what's actually happening inside your body matters. Because once you know, you can't unknow. Once you feel the difference, you won't want to go back. Let me tell you what older adults report after making this simple change. Within a week, they notice their energy is more stable throughout the day. No more mid-morning crash that makes them want to nap by 10 o'clock. Within 2 weeks, they sleep better because their cortisol isn't all over the place. Within a month, they realize they're drinking less coffee overall because they're not chasing artificial energy to compensate for the energy they're losing. They feel lighter, clearer, more like themselves. Some even say they feel like they've turned back the clock 5 years, just from changing when they drink their coffee. And here's the beautiful thing. This isn't about perfection. You don't have to be perfect. Some mornings you might forget and drink coffee first. That's okay. What matters is that most mornings you remember. Most mornings you choose to fuel your body first. Most mornings you give yourself the gift of sustained energy instead of borrowed energy that has to be paid back with interest. Think about how many mornings you have left. I don't say that to be morbid, but to be real. Every morning is a chance to feel good, to have energy for the things and people you love, to show up fully in your life. Why would you want to spend those mornings fighting against your own body? Why would you want to start each day by depleting yourself when you could be building yourself up? This isn't just about coffee. This is about respecting your body as it ages, about working with it instead of against it, about recognizing that the habits that served you at 30 might not serve you at 60 or 70, about being willing to make small adjustments that create massive differences in how you feel every single day. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, before you touch that coffee pot, eat something. Anything. Just something small to break the fast and prepare your body properly. Notice how you feel an hour later, 2 hours later, by mid-afternoon. Then decide for yourself if this simple change is worth keeping. I think you'll be amazed. If this information opened your eyes to something you've been doing unconsciously for years, drop a comment saying, "I'm trying this tomorrow." Share this with another older adult who's always complaining about being tired. Hit that like button so more people discover this simple fix. And subscribe because we're going to keep uncovering these hidden habits that quietly steal your health, your energy, and your quality of life. You deserve to feel good in your body, no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated. Let's make sure every morning sets you up for success instead of sabotage.